everybody, welcome to our back to school night for the red team from Ashland Elementary School. I am Mrs. Clevenger, and this year I will be teaching reading and writing and social studies to your child. We're really excited for this virtual distance learning that we are experiencing right now. Mrs. Bass?
And my name is Lauren Bass. I'm your child's math and science teacher this year. I am extremely happy to be working with them and working with you and looking forward to an awesome year of 5th grade together.
Tonight we are going to cover the following topics: tips for success in the 5th grade, our daily schedule, a grading explanation, the pacing guide, Virginia Standards of Learning, and then a closing. We would like to share some tips for your child to be successful in the 5th grade. One is for your child not only to attend our live Zoom sessions, but also to participate in the Zoom session. If your child has their camera on and they can be muted but ready to unmute when they want to answer a question, we highly recommend that your child's camera is on so that we can see them, they can see us, and we are able to observe what your child is doing and how they're learning. That is something huge to help your child be successful this year. Another thing is for your child to follow through with their Canvas activities. Each day we have activities and projects for them to complete and assignments. And if they would complete those assignments as they are assigned on that day, this is going to ensure that they are successful. If your child is waiting till Monday to catch up on all the last week's assignments, they're going to maybe or perhaps forget what was taught to them that day or what was taught to them the previous week. So if they do those assignments on that day when the lessons are fresh in their mind or the next morning, this is going to ensure that they understand what they were taught. That also goes along with time management. They have to be sure that they are staying on time and keeping up with due dates. Another thing is for your child to arrive in class that day with their materials, a sharpened pencil. In reading, they need their reader's notebook, their writing journal, and at this time, their crash book, that chapter book that we're reading, and also loose leaf paper in case we're just jotting ideas down. And they need their social studies notebook to have with them. If they are showing up and telling me they need to leave to go sharpen their pencil or they're running away from the computer to get what they're missing, that's taking up precious time. Mrs. Bass, do you want to address what they need in science and math?
Correct. Yes, sorry.
Okay.
For science and math, very similar things. Pencil, for sure. Loose leaf paper and or their math notebook. We also gave you in the learning bags the small whiteboards. They should have their whiteboard handy and a dry erase marker, an eraser of some kind. Socks, mismatched socks in the dryer make a fabulous eraser or tissue. But those types of things. We also, in the learning bag, gave the students calculators. They should have the learning bag items handy. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So here is a look at our daily schedule. All right, they look very much the same, mine and Mrs. Clevenger's schedule. We're just flip-flopped in one area. All right, so this will be our schedule Tuesday through Friday. We have our teacher office hours from 9 to 9:30 a.m. every morning. This is the best time to contact us if you have questions that you would like us to answer. During those office hours, we are dedicated to getting back to your questions right away. So whether it's by email or if you pop into our office hour Zoom, you can find the link to that on your child's homeroom homepage. Or, you know, if Mrs. Clevenger's students wanted to come ask me a question, they could go to our math homepage, and there's a link to my office hours. The same, my students have access to Mrs. Clevenger's office hours through their reading or social studies Canvas homepage. You notice we then have Encore via Zoom. Students have been pretty good. They know how to get to their Encore classes from our homeroom homepages. That is 9:30 to 10:15 every day. The Encore teachers have an assignment up there, but then they offer a live Zoom in case students have questions or need to, you know, ask them anything or just want to pop in and say hi. These blue areas here denote the small group lessons, Canvas independent work time. So these could be times where your child is maybe pulled for a small group by a specialist, or by me or for extra math help, or by Mrs. Clevenger for extra reading help or reading testing. If your child is not being pulled for a small group at that time, they're expected to be working on their independent Canvas assignments. It'd be just like we were in school and they were in class doing work. So those blue areas represent times when your student is not on live Zoom with us, but should be continuing their learning by doing the Canvas assignments. And I'll go into Canvas in a moment and show you that. Lunch is an hour. That's really nice because in school we only get a half an hour. So 12 to 1 students get for lunch, and that's the time, go out, play, eat, you know, enjoy, relax, but then come back inside and let's get back to work on the schoolwork. You know, students who are keeping up on their Canvas assignments daily are not finding themselves stressed out at the end of the week or the next Monday when they have a whole pile of assignments that need to be done. Just a little bit every day will help keep the stress away. I can't believe I just said that. Anyways, all right. And our 2 live Zoom session full classes with the teachers are at 11 and at 2:30. So we each have our homerooms first at 11 o'clock, and then we each have each other's homeroom at 2:30. So again, Mrs. Clevenger's schedule, it's posted on her homeroom homepage, like mine is posted on my homeroom homepage on the button that says daily schedule. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that, and let's take a look real quick at Canvas. I just want to show you from the student's perspective how they can look and see if they have completed assignments that need to be completed. All right, so this is a student view of the math homepage. Language arts would be very similar, same types of menu items. All right, so students can access their Canvas work each day by either clicking modules here on the left navigation bar, or by going down to the button. We each have buttons on our courses. So today's Friday. We each have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday buttons on our courses. So today's Friday, I'm gonna click Friday. Now we open up each day, like Tuesday, these assignments opened up in math. Wednesday, these assignments opened up. Thursday, these assignments opened up. And Friday, these assignments opened up. So now by Friday, you can see the whole week. All right, now not everything is an assignment. For example, in math, we always post the mini lesson at the top and maybe answers to practice problems from this mini lesson. All right, so if you were in class, you wouldn't need to go to these 2. That's why it says if you miss class. Or if you felt like you needed a little more review of what we did in class, you could go and check out the mini lesson videos. All right, but then the assignments start. If there's a little pencil there, that means it is an assignment, you know, needs to be done. Some things just need to be viewed. All right, airplanes, those are things that are most likely graded. Okay, usually quizzes and quick checks, tests, things like that have an airplane. So those are, yeah, I definitely got to get those done kind of items. Now, let me move Mrs. Clevenger and I over a little bit and notice the check marks, okay? Your child will have, when they first come into their modules, circles that look like this. And if it's got an airplane, for sure, that is a quick check or a quiz that, needs to be submitted. All right, they'll be submitting that in order to get the check mark in place of the circle. There are other items that are marked as done. So, for example, let me click into this one here. Let me unmark it. Let me act like I didn't do it. All right, this was an assignment where we asked students to go to IXL and do some practice in IXL. Now, I will be going into IXL and looking at how the students did, but for purposes of getting that check mark in their Canvas, students were on their honor to complete this assignment, mark it as done, and then with that done, let me click modules and get back out. That would put a check mark here in place of a bubble under IXL. Now, it's my understanding that in the student, that the check marks are only visible in the students course, that observer screens don't show the check marks. So parents, you may have to actually go into your students' Canvas login to see the little circles and the check marks. But that is how you can check and see if your assignments have been done in Canvas. Again, if there's any more questions about that, please come to our office hours and ask.
Now we're going to talk a little bit about how grading is working this year. If you want to know what your students' grades are, please look in Parent View in the Hub. You will see the assignment and the grade. Students are submitting work through Canvas, and there are some assignments that you will get feedback on. Others we're just looking at. So you can get feedback sometimes through Canvas, but the grades are definitely going to be shown in Parent View. We would also like to address what we will be teaching in the subject areas through the end of the first quarter. In reading, as you know, we have been working on fiction and story elements and theme. Next week, we are going to start with nonfiction, and we will be comparing nonfiction and fiction text. We will be addressing main idea in fiction. And then soon we will have a date on when our reading test is. And we'll begin Unit 2, which is going to again cover plot, character development, theme, drawing conclusions, and inferencing. Reading now is more of a spiral effect, so that we'll be reviewing and going back to all of the reading standards throughout the school year. In social studies, we will finish up map skills and globe skills, longitude, latitude, and hemispheres next week. And then we're going to go on to my favorite part of the United States is the Northeast region, and we'll find it on a map. We'll talk about the physical and climate characteristics and its natural resources and economy. So we have exciting things coming up in social studies. Mrs. Bass?
All right, so as you know, we just had our first test in math. We finished up our unit on estimating sums and differences with addition and subtraction word problems, and calculating perimeter, and students did a phenomenal job. Word problems are not always easy, especially multi-step word problems, and students really tackled them and did a fantastic job on that unit. Our next unit we're going into right now is multiplication and division. So I'd really like for your student, I've told the kids this too, to brush up on their multiplication facts. All right, it makes the bigger multiplication and division easier if you have the times tables through the 12s down rote memory. It just makes life easier. So please, if you could, in the car or around the house, have your student practicing saying out those times tables. That will help them a lot. And then after that, we'll have a unit on measurement. In science, we're currently in our living systems unit, which is kind of a long unit. We've talked about cells, vertebrates and invertebrates, classifying animals as vertebrates or invertebrates, classifying plants in different ways. And we'll be talking about animal adaptations to wrap it up. And then we'll go into our rocks and fossils unit. We have 2 back-to-back geology-related units, rocks and fossils, and then going into geologic processes, talking about changing Earth, Earth's layers and earthquakes and how plates move, plate tectonics. So kids really get into that unit. So that's what we'll have to look forward to in math and science.
That's some exciting things happening there in science, Mrs. Bass.
Well, thanks, Mrs. Clevenger.
You're welcome. All right, we're going to go right into the Virginia Standards of Learning, those SOLs that we all know and love so much. Those are coming up in May. As of this point in time, we are still expected to give those SOLs. So in 5th grade, students get an SOL in math, science, and reading. And Mrs. Bass and I are sure that we are hitting all of the content that students need to be successful with those SOLs in May. In closing, we just want to thank you for allowing us to teach your child with this new form of virtual distance learning. We always try to have a positive attitude, and so this has been very interesting. In a way, exciting. We've learned so much. I'm so much better on the computer than I ever was before. Mrs. Bass was already terrific on it, but now she could teach a class on it. So we're happy to see your children every day, and we just can't wait until we're back in the classroom with them. I know that first day we're back, I think we're just going to stare at our students, and they're going to be staring at us because we won't believe we're actually meeting them in person. So thank you for allowing me to teach your children this year, Mrs. Bass.
And yep, same thing. I could just clone what Mrs. Clevenger said. We're very excited to be starting this year. It looks different than it ever has before. It has been a huge learning experience for all of us, in patience, flexibility, growth in technology, technological knowledge. Let me get that out there. But yeah, together, I think we can all make this work. So whatever it looks like the rest of the year, we're here for your kids. We're here for you. We thank you for your support and all the kind words and things that we've heard. And we're just excited to be working with you the rest of the year. So thank you.
Thank you. And if you've watched this video all the way to the end, you are a rock star. All right. Bye.